Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to LEGO DC Supervillains. So for the first level, we played with some of the biggest supervillains: Joker, Harley Quinn, Lex Luthor. So I assume then we are following the story with those same characters for the entirety of the narrative, and we're not going to then jump into another group of lesser known supervillains or a group of heroes. You might be a group of heroes, but I doubt it.
We come from a skip to the end. Joker's getting away.
Your entire planet is in terrible danger due to a threat from our world.
What threat?
So they reveal right at the beginning of the second story, second level, that Ultraman and his group are actually evil. There's an interesting Lego ladder build, different from the Lego ladder we saw before.
People of Earth 1, we are the Justice Syndicate. We come from
yeah,
a
that's what
parallel
they're
version
called.
of your world, known as Earth 3. We're awesome, and we're here to help.
Your Justice League have had to go on a mission in deep space. They asked us to watch over you while they are away.
What? That's not what happened.
That's enough TV now, Harley. Too much is bad for your eyes.
But Mr. J, I saw those new Justice Bozos make the old Justice Bozos vanish using some little doohickey thingy. If I had my phone, I could show you.
Shush, shush, shush. I'm still searching for my wonderful toy. Care to join us, Lex?
I'd rather wear a wig. Besides, I have matters to attend to in Metropolis.
Now noticeably our rookie character here is not showing up in the cutscene.
Take the keys out of that thing.
Wow, a new Joker truck would be real swell for getting around. How are we gonna build something like that around here?
Oh, Harley, you've got to start thinking creatively. There's plenty of scraps lying around we can use.
So we have objectives for extra parts,
Let's get to work.
and we again are in more of a level 3D level, which I don't know if that really is a better system, frankly. It really is just getting away from the Super Mario world, Super Mario Brothers kind of tradition of going left to right. It has been in video games. Although in all fairness, modern games really aren't 2D or 2.5D going left to right. They are more 3D environments. But because this is a kids game, they have to keep it somewhat constrained, so everything just ends up turning into a small circular area, which feels kind of repetitive. Let's see what this does. Interesting. So this is a code. So this is our hub. Interesting. I was not expecting that at all. I was expecting this really just to be another level. But yeah, we are in the hub now that we look at the pause. And they can tell us a few things. There's 20 red bricks. And there's 36 of the Joker sprays. So that tells me there's most likely somewhere between 20 and 36 levels, possibly 20 original levels and 36 with DLC. And we can look at the profile of Joker. Batman #1 in 1940. Joker appeared. Although in all fairness, the Joker in Batman #1 1940 is very much a different character, and it may be kind of retroactive to even call that character the Joker.
Don't you got a toy that'll fit in there?
There's a little slide here that you slide down. Okay. So, hold down the B button, and then that makes the Joker teeth. And then that gets through the small door, which usually that would have been short characters originally in the like Lego Star Wars first game, which was the first Lego game ever made. You would have shorter characters. Although it's always been visually kind of hard to tell the difference between a Lego short character and a Lego tall character. Usually it's kids. The short characters have legs that don't bend, but in the video game they would bend, so you are back to it being difficult to tell the difference.
Are you sure about this?
Interesting, they form a ladder. And you have to hit A to jump up it. Okay. Still very weird that just like the second you're in front of anything, it pops up that indicator. Let's see. There's nothing over here. So I think that needed cooperation there between two characters and a Lego foot to kick it. Alright. And it is just, I guess, a question here as to are we gonna miss something? I don't think we are. Well, we're not gonna miss too much, at least. There definitely will be stuff we miss. But we're not even in the level yet, so spending a lot of time here. And now we have a text message showing up in the middle of this. The level Ring of Fire can now be played. Press the back button, or whatever that option is, the Windows buttons, to open the map, and use right bump to access level select menu. So that's probably, Ring of Fire is probably DLC level. So we probably shouldn't do that. I would assume that the main story isn't supposed to be accessed that way. And so that turned the slide into stairs.
Oh, so that's where we left that. We really need a better filing system. Huh? Do I need superpowers to deal with this or something? That ain't exactly fair.
I don't know what's back there that she's talking about. Now, noticeably, the music arguably should be kind of turned up, but I feel like we would get into more, like, copyrighted music as soon as we get back into a level. And the audio is feeling very inconsistent as far as the Joker type music. you're definitely seeing a power creep on these characters too, where the Joker has quite a lot of extra abilities. Like, now I've done that at the wrong time twice. Whereas some of the earlier Lego games, definitely you'd have a character that could do only one thing and you would swap between the characters a lot more often. We're not capable of swapping characters by holding down Y. So in the story mode, it seems like that's not a possibility. And I'm pressing that button to try to bring up that menu to select the level, and it's not working. So I don't know if I've committed to something now and that's why I can't bring up that menu, or if it literally told me about that menu too early. And I mean, we could come down here and see. It's nice to see some Lego things. You see how the Lego pieces kind of like to bounce towards the place they're supposed to end up.
Now, let's go round up the delightful ne'er-do-wells who'll be aiding us.
The sound effect that played when we finished building the car was as quiet as the music was, and it should be louder, but whatever. And here we're now seeing a Lego Gotham City that seems like it's a improved version from the last Gotham City that we would have seen in like Lego Batman 2. Seems like its general concepts and textures are probably the same. Let's see, maybe now we can do Ring of Fire and bring up that menu. Yeah. Yeah, there was no real Gotham City that open world in Lego Batman 3. So in Lego Batman 2, it was basically this island with Wayne Manor on it, and then another island with a Gotham City on it, and that was about it. The Ace Chemical Plant, if that's what this is supposed to be, was connected to the city, and this city definitely looks smaller. Let's see if we can zoom in a little, as much as possible. Yeah. There's just a Wayne Manor on this island, where there should be more than just one place, and then there was considerably more buildings in Lego Batman 2, which just almost certainly implies that while we might be in an open world capable of going from where we are now in this Joker Carnival Island, it is not likely that there's going to be too much in between point A and point B as far as side things or collectibles. There might be a little bit, but it might really be almost nothing. You can see, zooming out all the way, you can see all of Gotham. Then what I would suspect is happening is that this is Wayne Tower, and then you get to this point, and this is LexCorp, which would basically connect Gotham to Manhattan at that point. And that this is supposed to be... Is Manhattan the name of the place? That Superman's in? Metropolis, no. Yeah, I would suspect this is supposed to be Metropolis. Up here, very possibly DLC. and is not really distinctive per se. So this could be like Smallville, even. This be Metropolis, and then this might be Arkham. A lot of emptiness there on this map. Of course, it is possible that we get out of the map and that the areas are a lot bigger. So I'd assume this is Arkham Asylum on this island. That'd be my guess. So what are the other tabs? Ring of Fire, the final battle to summit. All of these are labeled as new, and none of those are story. We want to do New Kid on the Block, and this highlights where the story is going as far as all this goes. And then apparently we have some challenges. A flock of bats has made it into Wayne Island in their new home. For some reason, find and get rid of all 10 of them. And then this seems like these are hints to challenges. Which LEGO games have not had challenges before, really, in an open world as far as an extra thing to do. So it's very possible that each one of these challenges might lead to a red brick. So on this final tab it says Earth Progress, and we need to find map points, gold bricks, missions, races, so there are races, and then vandalize monuments, and then defeat bosses. Then we can see here a spoiler that the apocalypse is going to be a whole secondary world, which may be as big, if not bigger, than the first world. So we are dealing with then Thanos, I believe is his name. If it's not Thanos, it's the other one. I don't wonder what this is supposed to be. This might be a poison ivy area. Not Thanos, Darkseid. Yeah. Darkseid runs Apocalypse. By going around the edges here, I'm trying to see if there's any other part of this map that I might be missing, but it doesn't seem like there is. So my suspicion is that you probably go through here, and that this is a Justice League building that teleports you to Apocalypse in the story. Alright. Alright. A to accelerate, or right trigger to accelerate, B to reverse. You can't destroy these cars, I guess because they are vehicles you can actually drive. So any starting points can have multiple vehicles for you to pick from. And playing as a bad guy, there's this desire here to crash into more things and get studs, but it seems to me like this is more in the lines of like, can I turn off these hints? Let's see. Hints are off. So I don't know why it needs to prompt me on the cell phone, and I don't know what to do to turn that off.
I used to have a yacht in the marina until a giant octopus set up shop there.
Let's hit Y and exit.
Kidding. I still live in my mom's basement.
So Gotham Towers West here is kind of a great example of what we can look at to see what the overworld's gonna feel like and look like. Little bits of Lego, but for the most part not that much Lego. But most of it is just standard surfaces and designs. And I suspect there's probably going to be little secret things, maybe even some Easter eggs. Interesting, you're getting a sound effect every time you collect one of these ghost studs. There's the church that we were potentially in before, I assume, so that means her cell phone really should be somewhere around here. These guys are just cannon fodder. You can just punch them up. We're getting some interesting background conversations from random people, but honestly I'm not even hearing it. The audio's being drowned out.
Right, not left.
Look right, not left. I heard that.
Yes, yes. Then I'll destroy her precious plant.
So let's see what this is.
You don't seem very busy. Care to join me in a spot of fun? I plan to play a little prank on Poison Ivy. I wish to destroy her favorite plant to show her who's boss around here. No.
Let's go ahead and
Well,
dismiss
that
that
is a shame.
mission for now, because we'll just do all the open world missions later. But yeah, we can see there's a LexCorp building. There's a Wayne Manor building. There's not much of a difference between the two.
It is very grim and mortal.
It all seems like it's in one city. It is at a bigger scale than it could have been, and it is a more verticality, honestly, than I would have expected. Compared to Lego Batman 2, this is considerably larger by going up and down, and it feels more like Gotham.
What was that?
And it's not until like Lego, no, not Lego, but Arkham Asylum 2 that you have a Gotham-like area that engaged with more verticality in the design, because Arkham Asylum 1 just takes place in the asylum and on the Asylum Island, and you don't see the Gotham City. Yeah, it's not called Arkham Asylum 2, technically. It's called Arkham City. That's the actual name of it. Lego trees have been noticeably missing from Lego games up until this point. The ones I've played, at least. I hope I'm playing these somewhat in order. Like, guess we need to be in the truck.
Thank you, thank you. I do all my own stunts, you know. Sorry, folks. Muse's call. Pre-signed autographs are available from my website.
Okay.
So this is the gig economy, huh? Ah, even better agent.
So we just picked up Clayface as a bad guy. And so the game actually expected us to go on a little bit of a tour via vehicle. Noticeably here, though, vehicles are still pretty awful ideas. They really should be things other people drive,
Looks like my ride's
and
here.
instead
You
of
guys just
having
keep
the
doing
player
it.
really drive vehicles.
Ooh, but riddle me this. Which one of you will get tired and give up first?
Hey, Mr. Riddler. You like mysteries, don't you? Because you know that new Justice Syndicate? I saw him make the old Justice losers disappear.
You don't say, Harley. Now, why would they do that?
I don't know, but I think they're up to something bad. I recorded the whole thing on my cell phone, but then I lost it.
Sadly, I think you lost it a long time ago, Harley. An evil Justice League. I'll believe that when I see it.
Now notice that Harley's not in the vehicle so that the second player could join. It's annoying to have the second player flash join all the time. And already we're hearing redundant background audio. Yeah, and Lego Marvel superheroes, you are in Manhattan and there's a lot of driving around and like this with people driving cars, but it was by far better to play as Spider-Man, who was unlocked very early, and that's a race that would only work with a bike. There is a bike right next to it. And swing around in the air instead of actually try and drive a vehicle. This would work if I could just crash into things and knock them out of the way or destroy them a lot faster. It's weird that they're not braking and that I can do exactly what I just did, which is have a car crashed or in front of me, acting like a speed bump, slowing down my process.
Can't we come to some sort of agreement?
Yeah, we're very...
Looks like the good doctor's been caught red-handed, boss. Maybe some laughing gas could flush out the cops and free him?
Yeah, we're very quickly just like acquiring even more enemies, bad guys, so
Leave this to me.
it does feel like within the first 4 or 5 levels you're going to unlock all the interesting bad guy characters, and then you're going to run out of like recognizable characters in favor of very, very obscure bad guy characters.
Yeah, it's kind of weird we still have so many phobos here, huh?
It's funny we have items just floating around. And then that just led to this.
All this
Just
fuss
led
of
to
a
this.
little old me. How touching.
Which led nowhere. I think I may have just gotten like a 3-star GTA style heat on me. Interesting. And I got an achievement for having 3-star police heat on me. Which, that is not what I would have expected, ever, is that you would have had a GTA style concept while playing as the supervillains. But you can definitely see where the ideas are being stolen from here, in that they're just trying to make something like Grand Theft Auto, which in all fairness, like, people have been trying to rip off GTA for decades for it being massively popular, but it really is, I think,
love it when a rescue mission comes together?
I really think it's popular because it was early to market, and there's nostalgia around it. Seems like if you beat up the people, fast enough, they won't be able to blow their whistle on you. But inherently, if you're playing as the Joker, they're going to immediately start to attack you. I really question, though, the value of having an open world and having a GTA style experience in a Lego game. I also have to nitpick when this rain effect is used, because it always makes this weird idea that you're looking at the game through a camera lens, and that's why there's a piece of glass effectively in the foreground causing water to pool in front of you, and it just never makes any sense, because in my mind I'm playing as the character and I just am looking from a third person perspective. I'm not looking from a camera lens perspective. If I was in a car and the rainwater was pooling on a windshield, that makes sense. And that's just another example of an effect that has just been copied and stolen so often that it's just like, this is what game developers do, even if they don't really have a good reason as to why they do it. So that was like nearly 30 minutes just to get there, so it becomes questionable how long this level will be. It might be fairly short.
Hot story.
Hello? No, I'm trying to contact Jim Gordon, Commissioner Gordon. Would you quit bugging me with your new camera, Jimmy? Go and film Clark instead.
Ooh, no can do, Lois. Clark hasn't shown up for work yet.
It's not like Clark to be late. Hello? Commissioner. Hi, Lois Lane here, Daily Planet. Care to comment on the recent break-in at the Amazo Labs?
So that was footage from the Daily Planet in Metropolis.
The prisoner we were transporting. Well, I can't comment on that. Yes, they are still at large.
So, yeah, that didn't make any sense. Why would Commissioner Gordon of
I'm already late for my lunch with my daughter.
Gotham
Reporters.
be researching the story in... I guess maybe Amazo Labs is in Gotham, and she's just researching the story from Metropolis.
Sorry, Barbara. Lunch will have to wait. All units, code red.
Riddle me this. When is a jet stream like a daffodil?
Can it, Riddler? That police bolt's not gonna rob itself.
More to the point, it appears our presence has not gone unnoticed. Gentlemen, shall we?
So clearly the game, being a kid's game, is foreshadowing a lot here. The Amazo Labs and the Amazo Project is going to play a big role. Probably in the thought that the Justice Syndicate may be trying to destroy the Amazo Project before it could be used against them. I don't know why you would have a statue here of a police officer holding a $100 bill.
I deal with puzzles, not powers. Someone else can deal with this.
So you can't go up the stairs. And you can't go up the stairs this way. We can destroy that. Somebody else needs to solve a puzzle, a power ability.
Oh, good. The stunt team's just arrived. Hope you know how to fall.
So now that our character snuck up behind him, we can now take out that group of police. And so we get to play now as a still A-tier group of villains, but arguably not the S-tier group of villains that you normally would play as. And yeah, I don't think anybody has the ability to activate this. So
This is Gordon to all units. We need backup. Repeat, we need backup now.
Calling for help won't save you this time, Commissioner. Once we get past you...
Hey, where's he think he's going?
yeah.
He's locked the doors to slow us down. We'll need to find a way past.
It seems like there's a design concept here in this Lego game, specifically around making annoying noise. Like, and yet that's not paying off by destroying that stuff. Looks like there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, the audio seems like it's just popping in and out. Maybe based on where you are. And that it has like ambient audio effects based on where it is. Ambient might be, I think, the right word there. But yeah, it just also seems like the audio just gets quiet and then gets loud. Yeah, see, it just feels like it's dropping. This would have been the default setup on the audio. Like most Lego games, fastest way to destroy things and get studs is just to do a air jump and then smash type attack. Pressing B shrinks this guy.
This will be no challenge for the Prince of Puzzlers.
And they're infinitely spawning enemies. Doing kind of an old school Batman vision. Follow the clues, which has made a lot more sense.
Oh,
In
don't people ever get tired of making things too easy for me?
it makes a lot more sense in the Batman, Lego Batman 1 and 2, that you would follow clues and search, instead of having the Riddler do that. Right. So what would stop the guys from spawning permanently? This is an interesting Lego elevator design. Although this also kind of highlights how you can very easily cheat with Lego designs, stretch and skew the pieces so that it fits your needs. It's highly unlikely you could actually build an elevator that would end up this size in relation to the size of a minifig with the pieces being shown. So he has another spray paint ability, which I guess that makes some sense. And we're collecting resources as a scarecrow. So that means this guy can deface this too. And then I guess we're taking a photo. So let's pause there. And I guess that means that might be the second thing. But I guess it isn't. It's the second to last thing from the right. From the left it would be second to last. So it's the spray defacer we just did. And there's a whole photo mode in that. Now, here's a question though. Do I have a photo mode otherwise? Doesn't seem like it. Like the D-pad just moves in the same way as the left stick. Left clicking does nothing, right clicking does nothing. Left trigger rolls, right trigger rolls. Left bump does nothing, right bump. Ooh, does bring up the photo mode. So, we have several visual filters we could use. Which I can't inherently complain about photo modes. If anything, photo modes are built into modern gaming engines as just a process and way of having photos being able to be made during QA testing, I imagine. So even if it just kind of exists no matter what because of that. For most game engines. And even if that isn't the reason why it exists, it does exist, and it's the kind of code that seems like it's easy enough to use in multiple games. I would argue that Lego games probably are programmed in their own little version of a engine that's somewhat its own thing. It's probably not a very standard version of Unreal or Unity. Arguably this game should be made in the Unity engine or for its time, but I wouldn't be surprised if with the adoption of cover-based shooting in the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga reboot, I wouldn't be surprised if it is made in Unreal Engine 5.
Now let's get moving.
And there is definitely an argument for just almost every game to be made in Unreal Engine 5, if, or whatever the newest Unreal Engine is, if you have no special needs as far as the type of ways the game interacts. Alright, am I supposed to do something with this guy. Yeah, you have to throw something at him to defeat his defense. Yeah, and I think this is just a poison ivy thing. You can't do anything with it until you hit free play mode. The punching combo element of this game still hasn't really explained itself well. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do.
Okay, just gotta get past that security station. Shouldn't have any trouble reaching the vault after that.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Clayface. There appears to be a rather menacing turret in our path.
Riddle me this. What kind of police station has such an elaborately designed over-the-top security system?
One that's based in Gotham City.
Point taken.
So, it seems like we can go back to the previous room if necessary, but we're probably not going to need to do that. And instead, we will trying to build something, but holding B actually did a different thing. So we're just trying to break things for the fun of it.
I can't use this.
So the Riddler seems to be the closest character to the Joker. Alright, so we get some henchmen and have them form a ladder or something.
Ha! This will be no challenge for the Prince of Puzzlers.
If we look over here, we can find quickly that we can't go that way. So we gotta go this way. They still really love to have you face the wrong direction by default when you get on the spinning jump. That's you end up facing the wrong direction more often than you face the right direction. Maybe that's intentional. So we'll control a LexCorp looking drone. Interesting. Then we should just be able to jump out this way. Nothing more here. We need Clayface, his impersonation ability, I guess. This does imply that Clayface could be a very useful character later on in free play, but he may not be that useful. The custom character, though, has been completely forgotten at this point. And I still can't hold Y and swap characters. There I just held Y and it turned Clayface into a large character. So Clayface both can be a small character, but that may not mean he can get through small areas, that there are specific areas where he needs to be that small or normal. Or I can make him large by, you make him small by toggling the B button. You make him large by holding the yellow button.
Please. Don't people ever get tired of making things too easy for me?
We're already hearing a lot of redundant lines of dialogue, and the chattiness as an option to turn that down would be probably appreciated. Yeah, the fact that he can go through grates, I think, probably implies that he shouldn't be able to go through the little radio controlled vents. So it feels like we're not getting the hints anymore, which is good. But it does also feel like I could
How did that advice go again? Ball up the fist, reach way back
could
and
easily
insert yourself.
forget some of these control mechanics if I hadn't played a lot of other Lego games, which I think that's something that probably would need to be mentioned here, is that you really would have to play at least 3 or 4 of them to be certain that you've locked down the general concepts. Interesting.
Whatever's inside this vault had better be worth it.
Today, someone's gonna be sorry.
Wasn't supposed to be able to control him that far from that distance. I was supposed to come up here. And the fact that we're only halfway to True Villain definitely implies to me that there's more to happen. So we'll hold down the Y button. Let's come over here and hold down the Y button. And then walk in here. And then tap X. It'd be alright if this level really did require you to have a stud multiplier to get True Villain.
No Batman to stop us today.
Stop right there, you oversized pile of mud.
Ah, that girl, Nightwing.
That evidence isn't going anywhere.
Oh no? Riddle me this. What has 10 lives and 3 faces?
Us.
Mm-hmm.
We heard some of our old stuff was up for grabs.
So they introduce a couple new characters and a couple new heroes. Heroes immediately being knocked out. You see, this is the style of driving you would expect them to encourage.
That's all you wanted?
Well, I just felt so underdressed.
Can I see your license, sir?
Harley, the wipers! Ooh, I thought I fixed that.
You can definitely see from this cutscene it is much more entertaining in a concept to see the Joker driving like crazy than it is to actually drive in the open world.
Keep your beak out, Penguin.
Perhaps, my feline friend, we should combine our efforts to gather up these sublime spoils.
We're in a weird position here where Catwoman is
Anything I get my fiendish flippers
firmly
on belongs to me.
working with the
You
bad
ran off
guys,
with them when you
where
escaped.
pretty much
Class act, Penguin.
for
Why, thank you,
several
Catwoman.
years now it has been much more of a focus where Catwoman is a rogue. certainly and a thief, but she doesn't tend to team up with people, other bad guys, and she's not depicted as negatively in the same light as the other bad guys. And Catwoman has just straight up been an actual viable romantic partner with Batman, not Bruce Wayne, really. It's Catwoman and Batman, not Bruce Wayne, and Selina Kyle, which is, I believe, what her name is. I guess we might be able to pull that out. Yeah, Selina Kyle. She too apparently showed up in Batman #1, 1940, which I kind of question that too. I feel like they might just be making up numbers, or saying every Batman character showed up in Batman #1. Well, yeah, there's definitely something wrong with the information they're saying here. Come to think of it. Because, let's just look at this. Batman himself showed up in Detective Comics #16. So unless it was a case where Batman showed up in Detective Comics #16, and let's pick a year, say 1936, and then there was like 4 years in which Detective Comics told a bunch of stories, sometimes with Batman, sometimes not. Then it took until 1940 where Catwoman was first introduced. That would be weird. I just hit the right bump to rotate the character and it just spun like crazy, which, yeah, that's not, I imagine, what anybody really wants. Is that you want to just hold down the button and rotate it. I guess the question to ask here is if we're playing as Scarecrow, World's Finest, 1941 is when apparently Scarecrow showed up. So we're in a level where we're looking for components. So more than ever, this would be the time to smash things. And yet, smashing things doesn't seem like it's really accomplishing as much. Two-Face with his gun probably can break a bunch of stuff. This game seems like it's slightly less violent than even previous LEGO games, though, in that I'm able to shoot people with guns and they just kind of react and scream. And they don't die or get destroyed. There, we got eaten by a shark. It kind of clearly needs an ability to blow up some silver stuff. And unlike previous LEGO games, it feels like I would have had more goals around breaking specific things. Like breaking each of the fish tanks. Feels like that should have been something that would have popped up a number 1 the first time you did it, and a number 2 of 5, and then doing it 5 times would have unlocked something. These pieces are obviously part of something else, but if that's the trick, it's to get up there and like break the chandelier. That's a weird trick. See, that's a bat kit, so we're probably not getting that. And this is probably something too. Yeah, I don't know why they're spray painting at that spot. We've got like 4 characters, which is arguably too many.
What do we have?
Well, what do we have here? Looks like my ticket out of this place.
Two-Face is the next character we should play as, I guess. But yeah, the rookie character is totally gone. Which I don't know why you would bother to waste the player's time to make them make a custom character when effectively it's not playable as a character. After that point. Notice how if I target a silver object, it is shooting a missile. If I target a regular object, it just shoots guns. Yeah, I just think they're programmed badly, and that's why those characters keep jumping to that one location. And I'm actively having to just destroy everything I can find to make sure I'm doing everything that needs to happen. This calming music is maybe a little too calming for the story that's being told.
Sorry, folks.
Conniving Two-Face! Two-Face!
Ah, just my kind of fear. Make way for my scaroblade!
I guess it is somewhat of an interesting thought
Quietly and get on with our day, shall we?
as far as whether these characters work well without a boss type character to counter your quips and jokes around. And yeah, this has just turned into a boss fight, which that's a new idea, certainly. In which he's glowing red and showing you where he's going to attack. now he's knocked out.
Hey! What are you doing? Just making you a little nest before I go, bird boy. Hope you like it.
Not so fast, Scarecrow.
Yeah, get him back, girl.
That girl? We need to stop her while she's busy.
Alright, let's go ahead and...
Goodness, you're here! These red plates are forcing me to return to my criminal ways!
Sure they are, Penguin. Now give it up. We've got the building surrounded.
So we're just supposed to build this penguin thing first. Alright, and then we jump up here to get to a new area. And then the penguin can henchman. Gather henchmen.
What's that noise? Is someone else trying to break into my finest establishment?
Because this balcony area is a little bit of an awkward area to be in. But the camera is actually doing a decent job there. Do we have enough people? I don't think we do. That being said, it doesn't... Yeah, I did have 3 henchmen, but they weren't all available. One was stuck behind the wall.
You realize you could have just slid under the door, right?
Yeah, well, and now you're here, perhaps you can help me with this bat problem I'm having. Yeah.
So that's going to swap him over to this other area. It's kind of a little too long of a level.
Police department relieved me of them some time ago. Ah, that's more like it. Now I'll deal with that bothersome little bat.
Hey! Get off, you little stowaway!
So are we supposed to be shooting down this here? Or
What happened?
are we supposed to be shooting
What have you done?
the helicopter? Or the airplane? Guess we were shooting the airplane.
An aesthetically challenged aircraft is a small price to pay to take down bad girl, what?
Down, but not out, Penguin.
Oh yeah, Batgirl was on it.
Well, of course you realize this was all Catwoman's idea. I mean, she's the ringleader here, right? Oh, my goodness, look at the time. I must be going now. Help yourselves to a cool drink of ice water.
I'll catch that jailbird right after. Okay,
They're not
that one's
even
gonna cost
kind of
you.
consistently stealing ideas here. Because if they were going to make a GTA game, the fighting gameplay mechanic here is very different. Like, I don't think that there's a fighting mechanic in GTA. This makes more sense though, that there would be a fighting mechanic, because the ability to smash buttons and attack people is something that's always been in LEGO games, and there have been boss fights before, but they haven't really been 3D arena boss fights. I assume we're going to get some kind of photo album at some point to look at those photos. This is a nice LEGO chandelier concept. There is a LEGO police station that has a chandelier somewhat like that.
Precious stone perched above. Consider it my bonus for taking out 2 members of Batman's little family.
Okay, but hurry up. We've already been here way too long.
Let's go break everything we can. and see if this is going to wrap up. So I don't know if that's now a case that we've defeated 2 bosses, or if neither Batgirl or Nightwing were considered bosses. You really have to wait till you have the prompt to activate a lot of this stuff. This shark character I think has a name, but I couldn't tell you what it was. Right. And at some point, this guy, that's like Joker. Yeah, I feel like Joker being knocked out is weird. But everybody is knocked out effectively, except for Catwoman and Clayface now. And so they seems like the villains don't really care if the other villains get knocked out. Yeah. Special attacks like that were probably unnecessary. Or should be more automated instead of tapping B.
Oh, hello, kitty. Nice. I'll get a few bucks for this.
Sure. Take it.
Owlman, Commissioner Gordon, GCPD. Great work. Villains, eh? I guess they thought with the Justice League away they could run riot. They weren't counting on heroes like you.
That's us. Heroes, 100%. Not an ounce of evil in us.
Get these criminals over to Arkham. Safest place for them.
Everything okay?
Yeah, sure. It's just that Batman usually leaves. Suddenly.
Oh, sure. No problem.
Huh. Maybe that's how they do things on Earth 3.
That was the cloakroom, not the exit.
There's a lot more comedic writing happening here, and that's something that some of the later or some of the early voice acted Lego games seem to have forgotten about, is that these are supposed to be comedic parodies, not serious experiences or serious storytelling. So once again, still the vast majority of things not collectible or not likely to be collected in your first story mode run. But we are getting a few gold bricks. We haven't seen what the gold bricks are for, though. And seems to me like we probably are only going to unlock 2 or 3 characters, and that the characters have different forms, in that Clayface has a big form and a small form. So this is like Lego Marvel superheroes, in that you're going to only have one character named Batwoman, and she may have multiple outfits, or Batgirl will have multiple outfits. So yeah, between the open world section and the story, we've taken an hour and 14 minutes to get this far. So far, so good is what I said at the end of last episode, and it still applies now. I will say, though, it does seem weird in some of the decisions that we aren't playing with the rookie new character who can absorb powers, so that concept potentially is just going to be thrown out the window. And we're not really sticking with Lex Luthor, who would have made a lot more sense if that was the character that would be our main through line characters, either Lex Luthor or the Joker. I could even see focusing specifically on Lex Luthor, the Joker, and even the Riddler, but them always being in the conversations and in the gameplay as a character. As this goes, it seems like we are just moving through the entire catalog of characters, and so no specific character feels like they're going to be that important, which is a very, very ambitious way to go, certainly, because I could see doing the whole story mode and then being fairly blasé and not liking any character, or particularly for kids, they should be kind of pushed into having a fan favorite, and the fan favorite is usually a Batman in a Batman story, or in this case the Joker as far as a villain. Like, by far you would pick the Joker as your main character. I guess we'll leave it at that. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me, there's a bunch of social and support links down below in the description box. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.